What we use as principle number 2 for most of my most important relationship meetings is intermittent tech fasting. It is a very powerful thing. When I'm spending a half day or a day with one of my children one-on-one in their fun activities, you can't get me. My phone's on airplane mode during a board meeting, during date night, during evening mealtime. No one has their phone on, and you're still using technology. You're just putting it in its place. As you know, David, we have our dukes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in the entrepreneur ring with your children, your spouse. You got to learn to lower these things, not take offense, not being ready to counterpunch. Listen, hear what they have to say. You have to be open to this constructive feedback. And if you are, that's when you can really start to improve, really feel closer, really shine. Yeah, the next one is about, we've all heard, David, from the health perspective about intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Intermittent fasting helps revitalize organs, weight maintenance, muscle. There's lots of good things that are being shown with this intermittent fasting. And that doesn't mean you gave up eating, right? It
Right.
means you're only disciplined to eat between this time and this time.
Right.
And then it allows the body to rest and purify and clean out. What we use as principle number 2 for most of my most important relationship meetings is intermittent tech fasting.
Mm.
So intermittent tech fasting is a very powerful thing. When I'm spending a half day or a day with one of my children one-on-one in their fun activities, you can't get me. My phone's on airplane mode. I might keep it on to snap a picture or two.
Right.
You're not getting me. My laptop's not open. Their phone is not on, because we all know if you get that one text, that one, even if you don't even look at it and you hear ding,
Right.
your mind is going, what's that? What is it going to, oh man, I hope nothing happened with this. You've now left the building. You're
Yep.
not where you're supposed to be. So we've learned my date nights. Date nights didn't go too well, David, in the beginning when I would take a call or a text or an email or, God forbid, a useless Facebook thread that you don't even need to be looking at
Yeah.
when you're with the most important person. So my phone is not with me. It's not welcome on these important times. And we found as a family, we even do this on a daily basis. 5:30 to 7:30 normally is no tech time. We give lateral movement to our teens on their phones and certain parameters, but that's our time. And what it does, it takes away that distraction, that block of human connection. And I found you're not asking yourself or your children to give up technology. You're just using it during certain times. So during a board meeting, during date night, during evening mealtime, no one has their phone on. We're just not in touch. And what that's done is open up more conversation, more things around our core values like planning adventures, and you're still using technology. You're just putting it in its place.
I love that. I love tech fasting. Really, really good. All right. What's the third principle?
Third principle is a fun activity with focused reflection. Now, this is huge with children, and I think we're all kids to the end. But what I found is with my boys when I first started this, is we entrepreneurs are pushy. We think we know everything. Oh, well, this is what they want to do, and we'll plan a day and we'll say, all right, Dave, we're going to go to the Cowboys game and be all proud and give ourselves a punch in the arm and say, isn't it great? We bonded. Well, what if our kids don't like football?
Right.
They didn't want to go to the football game. We liked football. This is where you get to see them shine if you let them plan the day. So fun activities with focused reflection, by the way, is the shortest definition out there for experiential education. I'm a very, very huge cheer section for alternative education. I think it's not used enough. Experiential education through all sorts of things I've done is definitely the most potent in the world, I believe. And it's not used, but now you're using it to build a relationship with your children or grandchildren or spouse or people close to you. If you let your kids plan the day and go all in, this could be from age 3 to 33. You go all in. First of all, it creates something called decompression. You've just spent the day together. You're one-on-one. Your phone has not been dinging, so there's been no distractions. There creates a decompression. You're having fun together. The guard starts to go down. And then after a few hours, you're literally in a different mindset. You're sitting across from a different mindset. You might be having a meal, and the opportunity for deeper conversation is abundant at that time. You've had fun together, probably breaking bread, and then discussion happens. And like I've told you about, it's normally in this time, I'll give a sincere apology or a genuine compliment. I'm always due to give some sincere apologies because I'm always messing up, David. And I never wanted to be the parent to just brush it on the side like it didn't happen, or to be the overlord that says, well, that's the way it goes.
Right.
I also wanted to make sure I was giving sincere compliments. Stop and think for a minute. What have they been working hard in? What have they done that has inspired me? And when you put this to action with your spouse, possibly at a weekly date night, and you give a sincere apology or a genuine compliment, with your child, if you're getting together with them one day a quarter to really have fun, the time in between is going to be better. It's going to be more connected. It's going to be more safe. And that's what we all want from family life.
Oh, it's so true. Jim, do you ask your spouse, do you ask your kids when you're having the one-on-one time, a date night, do you ever ask the question, how could I be a better husband? How could I be a better father? I mean, does that ever come up? I'm just curious. Or you've been doing this long enough where you've broken through that and your conversations are deep now? Or what do you find from other people who are just starting this? Is there any place to, because you mentioned apologies, and what I'm saying is that our kids want to know us who we really are, and I think it's wise for us to show that we as the adults in the room, we have made and will continue to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So give me a little bit of that context.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I absolutely have to ask David. I'm still learning, and the biggest reminder I can give anyone listening to this: there is no perfect family. I have not met him. I've done this for 12 years, worked with thousands of families, some very influential and well-known. And regardless of that, there's no perfect family. It's not supposed to be perfect. We're bridging imperfections and making the most of the time we have together. So when you take that pressure of perfection off, you're never going to get to be perfect. You can get better, but you're not going to be perfect. And so I do ask those questions. I do want to know, are there, is there something that I haven't, what's something I have to work on? That's a common question. What's one thing I need to work on? That's a really powerful one to ask. And you have to, because as you know, David, we have our dukes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in the entrepreneur ring. With your children, your spouse, you got to learn to lower these things, not take offense, not being ready to counterpunch. Listen, hear what they have to say. And that's not always easy, because you might hear things you will. Providing does not give us permanent alibi, meaning sometimes we go, damn it, but I've been working so hard. How can you say that?
Right.
Yeah. Or we think that, but we don't get immunity. We don't get immunity for providing. And I think we don't want it really. It wouldn't make for the best relationship. So if you just listen, so I'm always learning on this. What Jamie and I actually do, and we're wanting to get him to Freedom Founders people. I was actually a guy out of Dallas, bought us out of our last few hundred, and there's now a backup on all of this material out there. But we actually did date cards, David. So we have a deck of cards that we do about every year, where we compile questions. And on date night, we actually call our date nights date night with a question. So we go out, we'll usually have a walk or dinner or something. We pull out the deck of cards and we shuffle, and there's a powerful question that comes up. So we'll have different questions, and it could be, name a time over the last, month that I have not shown up for you and how I could have done it better. There could be really good memory ones of saying, was there a moment you knew you were in love with me, and bring us back to that. It could be, what was the top 5 vacations we ever took? If we could be doing anything in 5 years, what would it be? Tell me who your favorite teacher as a child was, and why. How did they inspire you? How did they support you? So we go into a deep question. Now, when you have a question, and again, I can get this for Freedom Founders people, or at least a list. And if you ask one powerful question on a date night, David, instead of how's the weather,
Right.
where are we traveling to next week, it brings it below the surface, which is where we all want to get when we're having these one-on-one moments. So I know this kind of went on a little bit of a tangent, but I think the important thing to know is nobody's perfect. I'm not. So yes, I am asking, and I give them the space to be able to do that. Some of us need to question ourselves, and I'll be the first to say, I probably didn't give that space to Jamie, to my sons, to now my daughter, my youngest, where I've been too guarded or even too proud to say, well, deal with it. I'm providing how much I'm
Right.
working on. You have to be open to this constructive feedback. And if you are, that's when you can really start to improve, really feel closer, really shine.
Our families want to know that they are seen and heard. And I think the safety component, you mentioned it with your oldest son, and what he had to deal with early on, and how that one-on-one time alleviated his night terrors, and things he was dealing with. I think, and again, I'm not a psychologist. You're much deeper in this than I am, but I think just the provision of, I'm in a safe place with parents who actually see and hear me, and can have the conversations that typically in our busy lives are just surface. Like you said, how's the weather? How's your day? It's like, no, come on. There's something deeper inside, but our kids just have to learn, unfortunately, by our actions, just to kind of show up and, put the chin up, and, no one wants to hear about my stuff because mom and dad, they're too busy dealing with their world, and it sounds like it's complicated. And that's the other thing, is like, I think we have to be careful about those conversations, because our world is complicated. But if we make it so complicated, our kids see that and go, I don't want to touch that. In fact, if I get in the way, someone's going to swap me because I'm not that important. Yeah. Right.
For sure. And that there is a badge of honor that's been out there for a long time of, man, I am crazy busy. I'm super busy. If we put that signal out to our kids, exactly what you said, David, or our spouse, and they love us. They care about us. Gosh, they already have so much on their plate. I'm struggling with this, but who am I to tell them this problem, or lay this on them, or put this on them? And that causes some real deep fundamental issues. It can really propel some problems that, look, there could be a problem solved in 10 minutes, or it can go on for 4 years. And we all know, if you catch a little spot and I'm not a doctor, but if I catch a little spot of cancer on my arm in the first 4 weeks and they cut it off and I'm doing the things, that's good. Now let it go, and it goes for 4 years. Whew. Same thing with these relationship things. So I think you bring up a really important point, David. I encourage everyone out there, don't keep saying to your kids, man, I'm so busy, we have this going. I don't like to say that at all. In fact, my teens have said, why are you always around? And that's what I want. I'm like, that's what I wanted to get to, because they know that they can talk to me. And that's super important. Actually, and there's something else that I've been doing, David, and you've been a part of it. So, the book's right over your shoulder. I refused to push real estate investing on my sons. Just won't do it. I won't do it. I wanted the curiosity to build in them to come to me, and they've started to do that over the last 2 years. So every Tuesday night, we're talking about real estate. I'm showing them diagrams of the deals that I'm working on. Own Your Freedom, that and another, my original real estate book, Real Estate Riches by Dolph DeRuse, we're going through right now. We play a financial game, but I spend this time with them every Tuesday night. Tuesday night is teen night. We let our little ones watch a movie, which we don't give a lot of TV, but they get a movie. Me, Jamie, and the older boys are talking about business. I'm starting to let them be involved in my CFO meetings, because I want them to hear our numbers. Our family financials are confidential, but I want them to understand them. I want them to see how I think. Not that they have to think the same way, but this is in the trenches. So these are the things that are going to break down walls too, if you involve them.
Yeah, so good, Jim. So 18summers.com, 18summers.com, and then the book, The Family Board Meeting, can be purchased on Amazon. Is there another place where other resources could be available besides 18 Summers, or the book, if people want to do a little bit deeper dive with?
Website's the best way to get in touch with us. Okay. Or the book. There's some different things on the website that they can download to get them started with some simple family rhythms and strategies. Again, you might not be as far away from a solid, grounded, happy, functioning family life than you think. The same way with, as you taught me, Dave, with financial stability, you might not be as far away as you think. And I've seen the same thing with family life. So there's some simple strategies there that they won't get you all the way there, but maybe 80%.
Yeah. Beautiful, Jim. I love our conversations. You're a role model for so many. And again, none of us are perfect, but you are definitely a trailblazer in this respect. And from that, I and many other people respect you for the values that you have incorporated into your life with your family and the people you care about. So thank you so much for the conversation this morning. I hope people will follow up and really take the intentionality and the focus that you so well stated is so important, and to do it now. This is not a someday when I get this and that fixed or this and that's my business. No, 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 no. That because that'll never happen. You've got to be intentional now. Take the initial steps. Like everything in life, Jim. It's just take some baby steps. Start the process. You won't be perfect, but get into it. Your family will love you for it.
Yes, yes, and it's never too late. So if anyone's going, well, I'm too late, that's not true.
Yeah, beautiful. Jim Shields, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, David.
If you enjoyed watching or learning from this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. If you have a question about any of my content or this specific video, just please leave a comment down below. And as always, stay focused on your freedom. I'll see you next time.